Asian stocks ended in positive territory, this as investors awaited U.S. interest rate cuts as well as earnings news from tech firm Nvidia. Meanwhile, rising tensions in the Middle East continued to be a cause for concern. The Nikkei share index rose by 0.5%. The Hang Seng index ended the session up 0.43%. Over in China, the Shanghai Composite Index was closed for a public holiday. Over in the United States, U.S. stocks closed mixed yesterday as investors continue to digest the prospect of rate cuts in the country from September. Standout performer was the Dow Jones Industrial, which hit yet another all-time high. The Dow Jones Industrial average rose by 0.2%. The S&P 500 declined by 0.3%, while the Nasdaq Composite closed 0.9% in the red. Here at home, the JSE is trading higher as investors await local data releases due out later this week. The all-share index is up 0.1% at 84,253 points. Taking a look at the local currencies, the rand is trading at 17.75 against the US dollar, 23.47 vis-a-vis the pound, and 19.82 vis-a-vis the euro. Gold is trading at $2,508 an ounce, platinum at $960 an ounce, and Brent crude oil is at $80.94 a barrel. All right, Makwe Masilela, he's the Chief Investment Officer from Makwe Fund Managers. He joins us now to give us his take on the markets. A very good afternoon, Makwe. So with the uncertainty around interest rate cuts now pretty much out of the way, what are some of the other key factors that are likely to be driving global markets in the coming days and weeks?
You are right, that has already been baked into asset prices, but we must not forget that other market participants are saying, it might not be 25, probably it will be 50 basis points. So that 5-10%, of not being sure of the percentage of the basis points that will interest rates be reduced will continue to make the markets be cautious going forward. And we know the tension in the Middle East going to continue to escalate. That as well is having a play. And as you said in our intro, we've got the earnings coming. Remember, the other magnificent 7 companies, when it comes to their earnings, disappointed. And now we are waiting for Nvidia. We know this is a company that accounted for almost 25% of the 80% increase, So markets are looking into those kind of things. And yes, the inflation number, and then which is the preferred gauge of the U.S. Central Bank, that is the personal consumption expenditure coming out on Friday. Not also forgetting that with Europe as well, we've got the inflation numbers coming out there. So it's more of a confirmation whether it's going to be 25 or 50 basis points.
We wait to see. So commodities were really the resources or the stocks that brought down our local market yesterday, but they seem to be propping it up today. What's your view on commodities right now? We know that China's having a tough time at the moment, and I understand that the Chinese authorities have also levied some tariff duties against them, which has also made that market more despondent.
Yeah, and they left their interest rates unchanged yesterday. But markets got this sentiment that should all central bankers act and start reducing interest rates, then probably global economies on fall into a recession. So if that gets to hold, then definitely we will expect to see some decent demand when it comes to those kind of commodities. And now, if that's the case, prices will go up, and then at least those commodity stocks should start making good earnings as well. And bearing in mind that with our commodity stocks, if the rand continues to be weak against the likes of the US dollar, that will also work in favor of our commodity counters.
Let's take a look at a couple of stocks. Brimstone Investments, they came out with their half-year results, reporting revenue down 39% and also recording a headline loss, while at the same time bringing down their debt levels. Your thoughts on this stock?
We know consumers continue to be under pressure. I mean, these guys are exposed to investments which are mainly consumer focused. Your Sea Harvest, your Oceana, but they did manage to get good profits coming out of Oceana. And also when you look into the fair value, I mean, they had some fair value losses. Now they've managed to record fair value gains. And we know that unemployment had an impact as well when it comes to consumers. But going forward, they expect things to improve much better because we have already seen the likes of load shedding are no longer there. They expect interest rates to start going down. Already we've started seeing our inflation going down. So they think that most of the investments will start giving them good returns going forward.
So Pick n Pay also came out with a trading update. That's for the 21 weeks ended the 21st of July 2024. We know that they've been having quite a tough time of it. They newly installed management around March this year. What are they saying, and what's your interpretation of how they're doing thus far?
Basically, they're saying, give us a bit of time. Most of them came around March. They know that they've turned into losses, but they managed to strengthen their balance sheet by having a successful rights issue of almost 4 billion. And Boxer continues to be their star performer. Closing as well didn't do bad, even though it was impacted by their late arrival of winter and also issues at the port. But the guys are saying, give us some time to get this whole thing to be turned around. And I think maybe they deserve, to be given a little bit of time. And they expect the profits to go down by almost 20%. We know some of the stores were closed, especially corporate stores. So that as well had a negative impact on the earnings.
We know that you're a betting man. That is your life. That is how you earn a living. But would you put your money on a Pick n Pay right now while it's down in the hope that it is going to do well later?
I think so. It's got a nice story to tell, and also trying to catch up on the possible unbundling of Box as well. That one will get some shares when they do that unbundling. So I think it's worth looking into.
Okay. Thank you very much. Makwe Masilela, he's the Chief Investment Officer at Makwe Fund Managers.